Hello, this is Joy News Desk with me, Mami Esinyamiche Thompson. Coming up, the Zawa President Mahama almost orders immediate arrest and prosecution of individuals impersonating members of the Anti-Galamsey task force, describing the menace as a national emergency.
I must be honest, this is a national emergency. The National Task Force will continue its efforts to halt illegal mining in our forest reserves and on our water bodies.
We have more from President Mahama's thank you tour. Also on our desk, the story of a young man swindled out by a rental agent and his so-called landlord just months to his wedding. The apartment he paid for turned out to be a movie house.
This thing happened to me. I didn't feel like going to look for an apartment myself. So for some time now, when it comes to renting and I just don't want to get involved. I want someone else to do those processes for me.
We have more in our Habitat series, plus another series called Red Means Go.
They've blocked that road, and I'm here is my working place. So that's why I said, no, they make a come. Because here there is my area. So I could feel move, come in it.
But was it right?
No, it's not right. They come around there, it's not right.
Well, we'll get you the latest on the regionals of the National Science and a Math quiz. We've got details of these plus business updates. Please still stay with us. Well, in our first story, President John Mahama has ordered the immediate arrest and prosecution of individuals posing as members of an anti-Galamsey task force who are reportedly extorting money from legitimate small-scale mining companies. On his thank you tour of the Western region, the president described illegal mining as a national emergency, warning that criminal elements hiding behind state operations will not be tolerated. The move comes after the president of the concerned Small-Scale Miners Association, Michael Kwadwo-Pepra, described as misleading reports of him pleading for clemency for miners invading the Desiree Forest in the Ahafo North District in the Ashanti region. Presidential Affairs correspondent Maxwell Agbagba reports.
Hundreds of residents have gathered at the Bosu School Park in the Western North region to welcome President Mahama as part of his nationwide thank you tour. The atmosphere is charged with excitement, with many residents reaching out for a handshake. A man in a wheelchair taps the president and requests a selfie. The president gladly agrees, crouching down to ensure the moment is captured. While the visit was to express gratitude, it was also to reconnect and engage with the people. In his address, President Mahama described the ongoing illegal mining menace, Galamsey, as a national emergency, calling for the immediate arrest and prosecution of individuals impersonating members of the Anti-Galamsey task force.
I must be honest, this is a national emergency. The National Task Force will continue its efforts to halt illegal mining in our forest reserves and on our water bodies. I've also noted the activities of illegal anti-Galamsey task forces that go around extorting money from legitimate small-scale mining companies. I've requested that the authorities arrest and prosecute any individuals involved in this illegal anti-Galamsey activity.
On cocoa, President Mahama assured farmers that under his administration, they will be paid 70% of the world market price of cocoa. He also announced that his government is awaiting financial clearance from the Finance Ministry to begin a decentralized recruitment drive into the country's security services.
We also promised to decentralize recruitment into the security services. And so we're waiting for financial clearance from the Minister of Finance. And when we get it, every region is going to have a quota to send our young people to serve in the security services.
President Mahama revealed that the Finance Ministry has released 25 million cedis to facilitate the payment of monthly allowances for assembly members nationwide.
The Minister of Finance has also released 25 million cedis for payment of allowances to assembly members for the first quarter of 2025. So assembly members, your allowances for the first quarter, which amounts to 25 million, has been sent to your district assemblies, and so you will soon receive your money.
The president added that his administration, in partnership with development agencies, will cultivate 200,000 hectares of oil palm across the country, with the Western North region playing a central role.
And these initiatives will create jobs for young people across this region. Government plans to invest in collaboration with the African Development Bank and other international partners to cultivate 200,000 hectares of oil palm across the country. The Western North region is going to play a crucial role in this project. When the time comes, I'll appeal to Nananumu to release land for us to do the oil palm program.
And on housing, President Mahama says his government is working on delivering low-cost housing for public sector workers to ensure decent and affordable accommodation for Ghana's workforce.
Under this scheme, the government will partner with workers' unions and financial institutions to construct decent, low-cost rental and rent-to-own housing units for health workers, teachers, and other public sector workers. Persons who have between 15 and 20 years to retire can apply to own one of the houses. If you want to own it where you are working, when we finish the house, you can live in it, and then you pay little by little till you own it. We will deduct it from your salary every month.
Meanwhile, the Environmental Protection Authority is making a strong case for the establishment of dedicated environmental courts to fast-track the prosecution of illegal miners. Deputy Chief Executive Officer in charge of operations at the EPA, Professor Michael Ayamga, says the current slow pace of justice is hampering the national fight against environmental destruction caused by Galamsey. He spoke on Newsdesk on Tuesday.
We need to have more environmentally conscious legal system and court systems that prosecute these cases fast.
Okay.
I feel that we should have judges that are more inclined to environmental preservation so that we don't treat environmental crimes, let me call them that way, like the usual way we do things in Ghana. It takes 4 or 5 years before you can even get a prosecution. 48 hours they are supposed to be bailed. You bail them, the next they are back in there. I want to see a system where we put in place environmental courts that can try this case faster and more efficiently. Then you can be happy that when you are arresting somebody, you know within 2 days it's in the court and then something can actually be done. Because until they are found guilty, they are innocent, and they are entitled to all the rights that are enshrined in the Constitution. And when you are saying that prosecute, they still go through the legal, they get a lawyer bails them, and they can keep playing the legal gymnastics.
Well, the Concerned Small Scale Miners Association is addressing some concerns this morning. Let's get an update from Kumasi. Nana Addo joins me with the latest on this. Nana, what more are we learning from the small scale miners?
Well, Mamiesi, the press conference that will be held by the National Small Scale Miners Association is yet to start at the Micklin Hotel here in the Ashanti region. But then we've been able to pick some details that we can share with you. The concerns that they are expected to share is regards to recent anti-Galamsey operations that have been happening across the country. Some of them that I personally have joined over the Ashanti region within the Jimra Forest Reserve and the Tano Ofin Forest Reserve. Now, the miners are raising concerns that they are being harassed and unfairly treated and attacked by these anti-Galamsey operators. They say that for some time now they have not been mining, and they see the operation that is currently sweeping through the country as an attempt to stop them from going about their businesses, especially those who claim to have legal concessions and operating legally. And so these are some of the concerns that they are expected to raise. Briefly, we got it from the communications director who will be addressing the press. They've also said that government must caution the Anti-Galamsey operators, who they say have been seizing excavators and demanding some cash in return. They are saying that the operations by these Anti-Galamsey operators have not come in fair terms with them, and that they need government to step in, or else they are going to stop mining, which would not go well as a good sign for the economy.
Right. Thank you so much, Dana Bache. Definitely keep an eye on that press conference, and we'll get updates from you later. Well, let's engage Deputy Director of Arocha, Ghana, Daryl Bosu, on this conversation. Thank you very much, Daryl, for joining us this morning. Once again, we are back on the Galamsey conversation. The president rightly has described it as a national emergency, and also, resourcing the Anti-Galamsey task force to do their work, especially those that are impersonating members of the group and collecting or extorting monies from small-scale miners. But with this statement coming from the president, what do you make of the fight currently against Galamsey?
Good morning to you as well, and I'm very happy to be here. But I think that it's long overdue. I mean, all this while, I'll say since 2016, we've been on the road, we've been trying to get the attention of government. This issue has been an existential threat from long ago. So it's, for me, quite surprising. I hope this statement is just to reiterate the concerns that the citizens have been saying from time past. And so if the president says that it's a national emergency, it has been so for so many years now. And that is why we have always been insisting that the response and the actions from government must be very decisive and uncompromising when it comes to Galamsey. And also, we also requested that a state of emergency be instituted in all the hotspot areas, the regions, districts, so we really get to the bottom of it and deal with the canker. So, in a way, it is good to hear, but I've been asking myself, why does it take us all these while? Now, let's not forget, the Honorable Minister for Land did say, Emmanuel Mobwa did say some time ago that when we talk about Galamsey, the people who are engaging in Galamsey, these are terrorists, and so we should treat them as such. But you don't see the action or the response from government corresponding with the kind of threat that we are faced with. So it is good in a way to hear the president himself acknowledge the situation we find ourselves in. But also the question is, why have we been dragging our feet all this while? Now, talk about the issue of the Anti-Galamsey task force and some people impersonating people on the ground. It's, for me, unfortunate. It's just, for me, a weakness in our intelligence service and our military, or not military, but rather the enforcement regime. It shouldn't happen. There is, I keep saying that BNI in almost every district in this country, not almost, in every district in this country, you know who is a legitimate operative, you know who is not, and you can already get to the bottom of it. Now, very recently, we know that the government also set up the National Anti-Illegal Mining Operations Secretariat. That should already be taking charge of these issues. We shouldn't be having this issue about some people impersonating other people. The minister did talk about giving the people on the ground, the special forces, some very identifiable insignia that everybody will be able to identify them. What are they waiting for? Why is it taking so long to get this out? So, I mean, we say a lot of
Which brings me to my next question. I mean, you have been campaigning hard for justice to prevail. What has the police been telling you since?
Well, it's not about what the police is saying. The police, you know, we did talk about the police, the need for themselves to look internally and deal with their own people who we know, if they are not enforcing the law, but are somewhat in the middle of it, also helping people, just turning a blind eye, allowing Galamsey to go on. We know the IGPs on the ground dealing with some illegal hotspot areas and all of that. But in most districts that we are aware of, Galamsey is going on as a normal activity, and the police are also busy going about their day-to-day job as a normal activity. not doing anything about it. So the police is really not telling anything. All we see from time to time is that they update the public on actions they've taken elsewhere and all of that. But Galamsey is still on the rampage, and a lot of the hotspots that we are talking about, the western region, the Ashanti region, the eastern region. If you go to Enyinem, Osino areas, it's a sad situation. Galamsey in the middle of the town, and nobody cares. The police busy driving around the township and all of that. So the police are not really saying anything to us. They're only reporting to us what they are doing. But we need to see more. And this is where I think that the leadership of the president is very, very, very important. To say a national emergency is not enough, we want commensurate response to deal with this level of threat.
Right.
Otherwise, it's just going to be all the flowery speeches we give about Galamsey and nothing really gets done.
Thank you so much, Daryl Bosu, for joining us this morning on this conversation.
Thank you as well. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you very much. Now, some small-scale miners are fingering two national executives of the National Democratic Congress for allegedly fueling fake anti-Galamsey task forces to invade legitimate mining sites in the Ashanti and Western regions. There's more in the following report.
In a press statement, the group names some executives of the National Democratic Congress as persons assigning the rogue task force. They said Joseph Yamin, the national organizer of the NDC, and Yakubu Abanga, the third national vice chairperson of the NDC, among prominent persons allegedly engaged in the illegality. In a statement, Mr. Yamin has said,
quote, "For the record, I'm not part of any Galamsey task force. Neither have I been invited even to share any ideas as to how to fight these illegal mining activities of some of these small-scale miners. If there is any task force parading around with my name, the said group is operating illegally and must be resisted from their operations. The work of the task force is strictly enforced by the state security and not party directives." End quote.
The third vice chairman of the NDC, Yakubu Abanga, has also denied the allegations in a separate press statement.
"Let me place it on record without ambiguity. I have absolutely no hand in and I know nothing about these allegations. I challenge anyone who claims otherwise to be bold and point to me directly. If I have ever extorted money from any miner or seized any equipment, let them mention my name publicly. Their intent is to tarnish my hard-earned reputation and we condemn it outright." End quote.
The small-scale miners say the activities of rogue task force are negatively affecting their operations, with some of them incurring losses. For Joy News, Nanaya Ochima, Kumasi.
Joined us on the line now, and we'll get reactions from him. We're grateful for your time on our desk.
Hello.
Yes, I can hear you clearly. So this is what's happening. At least the latest we know is that the Attorney General has directed Ryoko to investigate these allegations. What do you make of this?
My sister, thank you very much for the opportunity. And let me say clearly that without any reservation that I have never been involved in any illegal mining activity at any point. These are allegations. These allegations are baseless. And they are malicious and calculated attempts, to tarnish my hard-earned reputation, my sister.
But have you been invited yet by the police since this statement went out?
As of today, I have not received any official communication from the Yoko. But should I be invited, I will avail myself and assist in any way necessary to bring clarity to the matter.
But why do you think your name will come up in this situation? It's not random, I guess. I don't think they sat there and randomly picked your name and said, you should do this, or you are part or you are involved in illegal mining activities.
Well, my sister, this is politics. And it's sometimes a game anyway, how you call it. They mentioned my brother with the national organizer of the party, Honorable Joseph Yamin, alongside that we have up and then form a task force going around the country to extort money from from licensed miners or illegal miners through to court. I don't know. Then besides, we are into Galamsey. And there is no iota of truth in these allegations. And that is why I have said I am putting my position on last. Should anybody be bold, come out with evidence against me, Abanga Yakub Hassan, the national vice chairman of the party, that I am into Galamsey or I have formed a task force to extort money from people to bring to me to Accra, I'll resign today as the national vice chairman of the party. This is about integrity matters. This is my reputation is on the line. And I will not take for anybody to tarnish my hard-earned reputation. We are a young government that is focused on building the country. My sister, you can clearly testify that as we speak, the market, there is joy in the market. A gallon of oil that used to be bought at 1,000 Ghana cedis, the 25-liter oil was 1,000 Ghana cedis. Today, as we speak, by the good wisdom of His Excellency the President and the good governance and through the Finance Minister, as we speak today, a gallon of oil is 450 Ghana cedis. The bag of rice was 700 to 800 Ghana cedis. Today, it is 350 and 400 respectively. That is the economy we are prepared as a party to guide and protect. And also to look for jobs for the young people who entrusted themselves, committed themselves to campaign across the length of this country to get jobs. That is my focus.
Well, that's
whoever is behind anything, I don't want to go much into it because we are a young government, of course. Whoever is behind it or whatever, I don't want to go up.
It is your own government that has, begun the investigation into this. So really,
yes,
would you say that is an opposition?
This is a resetting government, my sister. And we have promised the people we are going to be accountable to them. So if anything come up into the media, it's the government of the day responsibility to invite whoever the allegations is onto to come and explain him or to explain himself, which I am prepared. I am ever ready. Today, after today, the Yoko hasn't called me yet. But when they call me, I am prepared to honor their invitation.
All right.
And state my side of the story.
Thank you very much, Abanga Yakub Al-Hassan, Vice Chairman of the NDC.
Thank you so much, Martha.
Right.
Thank you
Grateful.
so much.
All right. So moving on, crashes involving motorcycles, popularly known as Okada, are spiraling. In the first 2 months of this year, 1,079 crashes are recorded, a sharp rise from 883 during the same period in 2024. It's a grim sign that indiscipline among motor riders is accelerating faster than the country's response. Emmanuel Jivenu has more in our feature titled Red Means Go.
At major intersections in Accra, the red light does not always mean stop. It is often just a color on a pole, and for some commercial motorcycle riders, popularly known as Okada, it is a race against the law and sometimes against life itself. In broad daylight at La Paz, a motorcyclist jammed the red light, swerved onto the pedestrian pathway, and rode straight into oncoming traffic. I saw it happen, and we followed him.
It's our turn to go, you understand, for the U-turn. And that's why I come to that line where the cars they've blocked that road, and I'm here is my working place. So that's why I said no, they make a come, because here there is my area. So I go feel move, come in it.
But was it right?
No, it's not right. They come around there, it's not right. I was having train.
At Medina Zongo Junction, the story was same, if not worse. Riders dart across intersections, one narrowly escaped being hit, not once, but twice, as the light stays red. Paul Kwesi has been riding for more than a decade. Medina Zongo is his base. In April 2022, the Ghana Police Service, under the then IGP, Dr. George Akufo-Dampare, launched Operation Pari, which stands for Police Action Against Riders Indiscipline, came in response to alarming data. Motorcycles were the leading cause of road accidents-related deaths and the second leading cause of injuries in the country. Buzanga remembers what the Pari initiative did for his own riding culture.
The introduction of Dampare, then this red light issue came into effect, and very serious. We have been educated, and due to Dampare education, gradually, we will stop at the red light, and there is no police harassment. You see, and it has reduced a lot of this dying accident. If you don't wear helmet, it's your own case, but obey the red light. That is the law of Dampare, and this law too has benefited us a lot.
Say traffic so tabna Dampare eba no or the man be too say a so rider obi engina police ni bia obeju osika bibia make sure so obonwu din no be report e be treasure police ni achere the reason oji osika no Dampare was say no traffic is already obi engina or the man by obi engina ba ukọ Accra see a omujanya kwan e chichi moto the motor phones police phone no mudane.
Police motorbike teams were stationed at key intersections. Riders were educated. For a while, the change was visible, but 3 years on, the brakes seemed to have failed.
Because of this policeman in my mind, I decided to swerve one car, not knowing that the one taking this way is green for them. You see, that was my first injury, if you can see here and here. That was my first escape of death.
Oh, baby, see, I'm for a regency, anyhow. As in the breeze, see what ready to pass. I know, but not be able to cross. No, what I've put here. Regency, the guy couldn't pay breeze.
Between January and March 2025, Ghana recorded a disturbing surge in road traffic accidents. According to data from the National Road Safety Authority and the Ghana Police Service, 3,674 clashes were reported, up nearly 8% from the same period last year. These crashes involved over 6,100 vehicles and left 4,287 people injured. Even more alarming, 752 lives were lost, a 23.5% increase in deaths. These numbers paint a clear picture. Road safety is deteriorating, and unless stricter measures are enforced, particularly among vulnerable groups like motorcycle riders, the toll on human life would only continue to rise.
Well, away from that, there have been mixed reactions to the implementation of the 1 Ghana cedi per litre levy on fuel. Government earlier this year proposed the levy to provide the Energy Ministry sufficient funds to procure fuel for power generation. This is part of efforts to stabilize electricity supply and address the recurrent power outages. But stakeholders, including the minority in Parliament and the Chamber of Oil Marketing Companies, say this is unacceptable. What does the Ghana Private Road Transport Union say about this? Let's speak to Alhaji Abbas Moro, and he speaks for the GPRTU. Mr. Abbas, you are welcome to our desk.
Thank you. Thank you for the call.
Yeah, the levy is going. I mean, it's been effected today. Really, have you noticed any difference to drivers' pockets?
No. Normally, I personally buy fuel once a week. Today, I haven't buy fuel. And I haven't had any complaint also from any of our drivers.
Well, would you say that the margin on the fuel prices will in any way translate into increment in transport prices?
Oh, definitely expenditure is different from income, since we are going to pay on it, going to be an expenditure. But as we said earlier, with the explanation given by government. We are pleading our other colleagues to understand and move forward with that. Because currently there's well in abundance. We will go up and normal this daily. How about our brothers who use electricity for their...
Mr. Abbas, I seem to be losing you there. Could you reposition yourself so we can hear you on the second point? Really?
Maybe I have to lift up my voice.
Yes,
are you hearing me now?
Yes, much better.
Yes, so we are saying, with the explanation given by saying that if we don't have to get money, meaning the future will be profit gain. By doing that, for other there's this statistic for the ability and meaning they are going to be affected. Even some of us drivers, at times there are certain things you need electricity to make sure it's bad. Something like your stud is broken, and at times you have to use electricity. At times you need electricity to make sure you fix something on your vehicle. Without light, you also be affected. So we are looking at both sides and saying that with the explanation which we accept and move Mother Ghana further forward.
So you're assuring us that there will be no increment in transport fares. At least that is the decision you've come to with your executives?
Nobody has spoken about increment in transport fares with this immediate 1 cedi energy levy on the fuel. We have never spoken about increment on lorry fares. The increment on lorry fares comes when the need arises. And officially also, we come out and explain to the general public why we want to increase lorry fares. So this has been currently never about any increment. We heard some of our colleagues did this, and we condemn that because there is a procedure of which will increase or decrease lorry fares.
Right. Thank you very much, Alhaji Abbas Moro. He's the PRO for the GPRTU. Well, let's get to the latest on the regional science and maths quiz. And Addo Asare is there, but let's get more updates from Collins Frimpong. Collins, what do you have for us?
Mami, welcome to the
regional qualifiers for the region. And if you come here, we've already spent about 3 days here, where the Northern Regional qualifiers yesterday ended. And today we are starting with the Savannah as well as the Northern East regions. And we are expecting that all these regions will conclude today. Then we will continue with the zonal championship from tomorrow, and we are going to have the final championship. But one interesting thing here this morning is that Ghana Senior High School will be competing in the Northeast contest. Already, we had 3 schools that were supposed to compete in that particular contest, but one of the schools, that is the Sakogo Senior High Technical School, has informed the organizers that they will not be showing up. As a result, the Ghana Senior High School are coming to replace them because the rules of the contest suggest that 2 schools cannot compete in one contest, at least 3. So Ghana Senior High School, who that particular school, they are current champions within the Northern Zone. They lost yesterday to Kaupohene, who came in through the back door yesterday after 2 schools withdrawn from Ghana Senior High School contest because they were afraid of them. And they came in and they won with 2 points. And today too, Ghana Senior High School has gotten the opportunity. If you remember, that particular school is the school where Ghana's president, John Dramani Mahama, hails from, as well as his wife, Lordina Mahama, are all hailing from. So they've gotten the opportunity to compete again. That particular contest will be the second contest for the day, and the first contest will involve 6 schools from Savannah region. That's Boli Senior High School, Bupe Senior High School, Damango Senior High School, Salaga Senior High School, as well as T.I. Amas Salaga, and also Sola Senior High School. So these are the schools competing, and this is the situation over here in the Northern region. Tomorrow we will have the Northern Championship, which will comprise the Northern region as well as Savannah, Upper West, and also Upper East. All the schools that have qualified within these regions will be coming here tomorrow and fight for a slot in the finals on Friday.
Backing out of the contest, are they giving any reasons for their decision?
No reasons yet. Our engagement with organizers they've not given us any reasons yet. So normally, most of the time, because of the distance, they have to travel from long distances before they get here. If you look at the Northeast, they are traveling for about 2 to 3 hours before they will get here. They are traveling from another region before they will get to the Northern region, because the region was divided. Initially, we had just 3 regions: the Northern region, the Upper West, and the Upper East. But when you divided the region, we have Savannah also coming in and the Northeast. So different regions now, making it quite a longer distance for them. So they have pulled out, and we are having a school from the Northern region joining.
All right. Thank you, Collins. Let's go to the Eastern region and speak to Adobia Sari, who's been there for some time now. Adobia, what can you report?
Hi, Mommy. How are you doing?
I'm well, and I see you're excited already. Tell us more.
Are you able to hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, so today happens to be day 3 of the 2025 NSMQ Eastern Regional Qualifiers. Now, today we are seeing 20 schools battle for 4 slots. It's been like that since Monday, Tuesday, and today. But something interesting is happening in this contest. It's 4 contests per day. So you expect 4 winners, of course, to make it to the next stage. But we are seeing about 7 schools make it. On Monday, 7 schools made it. Yesterday, 7 schools made it. This is because the moment the winners fine, but when you are able to cross the 40 points threshold, you'll be able to qualify for the next round. And it's interesting to see that these schools are striving to make it to the next round. So, and we have new first-time qualifiers in there. So on Monday, aside the 4 winners, 3 other schools were able to make the 40-point mark and joined them. So 7 schools. And 2 out of these 3 were first-time qualifiers. You had Atefua and Enum Presby. And yesterday, another 7 qualified, 4 winners, and then 3 who missed the 4 points. And 2 of them are also new first-time qualifiers. That is Accra SHTS and Abomusu Senior High. Now, Accra has a very interesting story. It's a purely technical school. They do not offer general science as part of their programs. But yesterday, they won the contest, and they've made it for the first time ever into the... So they are not science students. These are home economics students. These are technical students, construction students. They just learn the science and maths.
And I believe they also have some basic or foundational, learning in science. So
of course, they did integrated science, but reading the electives to make it to the NSMQ,
it takes a lot.
A child's play. I mean, we've all read integrated science. But there was not a single question I could answer in the contest.
Of course, not you. You don't have the training. But Adobia, you were saying something interesting.
Of course.
About some schools, more schools qualifying. Is it that the contest is breaking some rules to accommodate additional schools to the next stage?
Of course not. The NSMQ has a rule that says in the regional qualifiers, when you're able to make 40 points or more, you automatically qualify for the next stage and the national championship. And that hasn't really been the case for these students to make 40 points in past years. But this year, we are seeing that they are pushing beyond their limits to secure a place in the national championship. And it only proves how determined these contestants are to go the distance in this year's championship. So nothing is being made soft for them. They are not, there's no exception to any school.
They are not relaxing the rules for anyone.
Yeah.
Right.
No, they're not relaxing any rules. So we have Nifa, Menya, Krobo, Pentecost, Presby, and Kade. These are students from Nifa Senior High. They want to say hi.
Hello.
They are ready for their contest. I'm personally tipping Nifa and Pentecost because My father's alma mater is Lifa.
Oh, I
and
see.
I'm a Pentecost girl, so yeah.
Well, I wish them all the best. I wish them all the best, and keep the reports coming in.
All right.
And that's Addo there giving us updates from the Eastern Regional Qualifiers of the National Science and Maths Quiz. Well, you're still watching Choi News Desk. We'll take a break and return with business.
Hello and welcome back to Business here on Newsdesk. My name is Winston Taki, and out of first business story. The Bank of Ghana is urging the public to accept all coin denominations as legal tender amid growing reports of rejection by traders and market operators. Speaking on the sidelines of the West Africa Institute for Financial and Economic Management workshop in Accra, Director of Currency Management at the Bank of Ghana, Dominic Bosu, emphasized that rejecting smaller denominations violates the law and disrupts price stability, leading to high inflation.
We need support from everybody. Is that Bank of Ghana is the only authority institution that is mandated to issue and redeem currency. For that matter, when we issue the currency, it becomes a legal tender. So nobody can say that currency that has been issued by the bank would not be accepted. So once the currency has been issued as a legal tender, it is your responsibility as a patriotic citizen who loves his country to accept the currency and use it. We will do our best. We will continue to ring and echo this into the minds of Ghanaians, that there is no reason that the currency that has been issued as a legal tender, you will reject it. So I want to encourage you, I want to also use this platform to encourage all Ghanaians that all the currencies, 1 peso, 5 pesos, 10 pesos, 20 pesos, 50 pesos, 100 pesos, 200 pesos, and for that matter, 200 Ghana cedi, 2 Ghana cedi coin, are all legal tender. The coins are very, very necessary to stabilizing prices, because in its absence, people will be rounding prices. And one interesting thing is that the coins stay in circulation longer, and it helps us as a nation to save on printing notes. So please accept the coins. Nobody should reject coins that has been legally issued as a legal tender by the central bank.
In other development, the Institute of Statistical, Social and Economic Research is advocating for reorientation of Ghana's housing policies to better accommodate low-income earners. Speaking according to the director of ISA, Professor Peter Quartey, the current housing schemes do not sufficiently address the needs of the poor and vulnerable. He made this call during the launch of a social development report emphasizing the importance of inclusive housing strategies for sustainable development.
Well, the kind of houses we are creating is not for the low income. And those are the people who need the houses most. The kind of houses we are creating, but there are some houses that don't have tenants. You see, so although we complain about housing, they are unoccupied houses. So the target should be low housing schemes, affordable housing schemes. Most of the government affordable housing things we find is 2-bedroom flats, and I mean, how many can afford to pay rent and occupy those rooms? So we need to reorient the way we create these housing schemes. The poor will need maybe a single, self-contained, those more of those, and then allow the private sector. The private sector would like to go into the middle income, high income, But if you are competing with the private sector for that space, when there is high demand for low income houses, then I think we've missed the point.
That's all for business. My name is Winston Taki. I'm here to see already Dr. Professor is talking about housing and how people can have access. Now, looking at the salary range in Ghana, it's difficult to know what is affordable, especially in the housing sector.
Well, we're hoping that there will be some form of social housing that will really curb this. And what I'm also interested in is the Bank of Ghana's directive to traders to collect legal tender 1 peso or 2. I struggle with that every day, you know. But we hope that they will put in place some tax force that will ensure this is really done.
Certainly.
Anyway, thank you very much, Winston, for that. Now, just months to his wedding, Bride Tewusi thought he had found the perfect apartment, a modest 2-bedroom to start life with his bride. He handed over 19,500 cedis to a rental agent and a man introduced as the landlord. But when it was time to move in, Bride discovered the painful truth. His new home was actually a movie house. Noella Yali reports for our Habitat series.
I'm not a man, but most men preparing to get married will tell you that one of the first things they want to secure is a home, a place to start life with your partners. Now imagine diligently saving up to 19,500 Ghana cedis, only to be swindled by the very people you trusted to give you that home. Now that's the story of Bride Tewusi.
It began with hope. Bride Tewusi, a hard-working young man, had saved diligently to secure a new beginning with his girlfriend.
Around that time, I was about getting married. I was preparing to get married, and then by then I was living in a chamber and hall. So I went online. I saw this 2-bedroom apartment at the Achimota area. The guy I got in contact with was the agent. The apartment was going for a 2,000, and then I asked for a reduction of 1,500.
Once Bride expressed interest, the agent offered to introduce him to the supposed landlord at his residence.
So just when we got there and I parked, then I saw the man coming out from his car in a rush, wearing those man's holding Bible. So he was like, sorry.
As expected, the meeting took place, but under rather unusual circumstances. In total, Bride paid 18,000 Ghana cedis advance payment.
I actually gave him cash.
Okay.
So I made the payments. He gave me a receipt. Right after collecting the money, they moved on a very top speed.
Like a punch to the gut, Bride was hit with the truth. The landlord's residence was actually a movie house.
So I got there, I'm like, oh, Pachomi, Mr. Eno. Then a guy looked at me and like, who is Mr. Eno? I am a movie house.
Bride turned to the police for justice. Then a petition to the IGP.
That very moment, I went to Mile 7 police station. Before I got there, about 2 people had already been there to make complaint about them being about a similar issue.
Bride became his own detective, following digital footprint, asking questions and refusing to let go.
I just picked my petition and then I dropped it on Facebook. So the Safoa lady had a picture of the landlord. So she sent the picture to me to confirm if it's the guy. I say, yeah, that's the guy. When we got there, just when he saw me, he had to reverse. He was on a top speed. So he entered into a yard. Unfortunately for him, the place was blocked. So the only thing for him to do is to reverse and then come back. And there, the soldiers caught him.
But the financial loss was just the surface. The trauma of betrayal cuts deeper than the pocket.
Honestly, when this thing happened to me, I didn't feel like going to look for an apartment myself. So for some time now, when it comes to renting and I just don't want to get involved. I want someone else to do those processes for me.
For Bride Tewusi, it wasn't just about losing money. It was about losing trust, peace, and momentarily losing himself. It took relentless personal efforts for him to reclaim a portion of what was stolen from him. But not everybody is able to have the means or strength to do so. And until Ghana's housing system is cleaned up and better regulated, stories like Bride's will keep repeating. I'm Noella Kareniali, and this is for Joy News.
At least the good news is the man was caught in the end. And that's how we draw the curtain on Joy News Desk this morning. I am Amisi Nyamiche Thompson. There's more stories on myjoyonline.com.